a last-ditch effort.
Correct.
Will it work? It appears rather unlikely at this stage. Why? Because in that conversation that's happened, Eknath Shinde has already made it very clear the time has passed. Now they have one-point agenda, and that one-point agenda is leave the Mahavikas Aghadi. Now, will that actually happen, given the fact that Uddhav Thackeray in that live, Facebook live of his said that he became chief minister because Sharad Pawar wanted him to become chief minister, because Sonia Gandhi spoke to him about it, and and this is something that the Shinde Sena, if I may, their point is coming out to say that why would Sonia Gandhi or Sharad Pawar have this kind of influence on Uddhav Thackeray, Balasaheb Thackeray's son. They've fought all their lives against the NCP and the Congress party, and this is where Uddhav Thackeray has taken the Shiv Sena. Can they still do that? Because Eknath Shinde is very clear, get back to the Hindutva of Balasaheb Thackeray. Is that actually happening, given the number of instances that have happened in Maharashtra, including Palghar? So there is, I think that point of no return has been crossed, given also the stance that was taken multiple times. Look at what Sanjay Raut is saying. Sanjay Raut is saying, Shiv Sainiks are with us, some MLAs may not be. And all of that is an indicator of the times to come in the next couple of weeks.
But he's still trying. He's still trying, Gaurav, in the hope that these MLAs will come back, have a conversation with the chief minister, have a conversation with the Shiv Sena. But it just looks very unlikely, given the kind of hard stance that the faction of Eknath Shinde and their supporters have taken at this point of time.
And Paulami is the best person to tell us more about this, since she has been interacting with Eknath Shinde camp constantly in Guwahati. And Paulami, is there any scope whatsoever of a rapprochement, or so much water has flown down the Brahmaputra, and now that's not possible. Now they've reached a point of no return.
Gaurav, is that the question in the context of whether any of these will in fact return to the Uddhav camp?
Yep.
Okay. Gaurav, there is obviously, they do realize that there will be losses that they'll suffer as a result of it, because now they've made it absolutely clear that they are part of the rebel gang of the Shiv Sena. They've had things to say about the Shiv Sena and its style of functioning, and even specifically about Uddhav Thackeray, that letter, of course, that was released by Eknath Shinde on his Twitter handle about his style of functioning, things about Aditya Thackeray and his interference in government affairs as well. So clearly, it's possibly not a point of no return. They will obviously be taken back, but clearly they stand at a disadvantage right now, given that they have openly rebelled against the Thackeray family and the Shiv Sena. So clearly they are going to, unless of course they go back and they make certain arguments and excuses that they indeed were forced, possibly they were compelled. Again, we don't know. Those allegations that have been made by
we just put out those visuals a little while back, Paulami, where a Shinde faction with his sea of supporters came out and showed how they were very happy. He came out with those supporters. They put out those visuals that spoke 1,000 words in terms of how much support Eknath Shinde is enjoying at this point of time. If they were indeed kidnapped or any kind of taken under any kind of duress, you would have not seen visuals like that. So how likely it is for any of these guys to then listen to Sanjay Raut and try to have a conversation with Uddhav Thackeray at this point?
Chati, the fact is that they might not have been physically forced or compelled. That was Nitin Deshmukh's allegation, that he was manhandled and they tried to do something to him, he alleged as well, which was harmful to him and was indeed aimed at harming him. But the fact is that there could be, like some of the Shiv Seniks, if you speak to in Mumbai and otherwise as well, will tell you, who are not part of the Eknath Shinde camp, will tell you that no, they are under pressure with lots of cases against them. They fear central agency action against them, and those are the reasons because of which they are extending their support to Eknath Shinde, who seems to have the BJP on his side. Again, an allegation. it hasn't been proven in any way, but that is what even Mr. Sanjay Raut is saying. So again, if that is the allegation, if they are indeed going to be able to prove that, if they at all want to return to the Uddhav Thackeray camp, they have some sort of change of heart, you know, in a couple of days or so, then they'll have to prove that to Uddhav Thackeray and the camp that indeed there was some sort of pressure, indeed there was a gun that was being held to their heads metaphorically in order for them to have pledged their support and signed on the dotted line quite literally to in fact support Eknath Shinde. So lots of allegations, lots of counter allegations that are being made by both sides at the moment, but eventually it boils down to the numbers, and that will be on the floor of the assembly.